I had rehearsed the words 1,000 times in my head, but now, as I sat across from him, the weight of them was suffocating. I had to tell him. No more lies, no more secrets. James, I need to tell you something.
James turns slightly, but doesn't face her. His shoulders are tense, his posture rigid, as if he already senses the storm approaching.
Go on.
I haven't been honest with you, and you deserve the truth.
James swirls the whiskey in his glass, his knuckles tightening. The sound of ice clinking fills the silence between them.
The truth about what?
About me, about something I did.
A long pause. James finally turns around, his face unreadable. His eyes are sharp, piercing through her.
Just say it, Laura.
I was unfaithful.
James exhales sharply, his expression darkening. He steps closer, staring at her with piercing eyes. The firelight flickers against his face, casting shadows that make him look almost unrecognizable.
With who?
Someone from work. It wasn't planned. It just happened. I was lonely, James. You've been so distant, so cold. I wasn't looking for it, but it happened, and I regret it. I regret it more than anything.
James sets his glass down with a deliberate clink, his jaw clenched. His silence is worse than any yelling.
How long?
A few months, but it's over now. It's been over. I swear.
Unbelievable.
James, please,
No. No, you don't get to beg now.
He exhales sharply, his shoulders rising and falling as if he's holding something back. Laura watches him, her stomach twisting into knots.
I expected anger. I expected pain. But what I didn't expect was what came next.
James finally looks at her, and for the first time, she sees something else in his eyes. Something unsettling.
You know what's funny, Laura?
What?
You think you're the only one with secrets.
Laura stiffens. The air in the room shifts, becoming thick with something unspoken, something dangerous.
What are you talking about?
James steps closer, his voice eerily calm. He looks down at his hands, as if contemplating something unseen, something buried deep.
You were unfaithful? Fine. But tell me, Laura, what do you think happened to Mark?
What? Mark? James, he moved away.
No, he didn't.
She stares at him, realization creeping in like a slow-moving shadow.
James, what did you do?
James leans against the mantel, rubbing his fingers together as if wiping something off. He exhales, his voice steady, almost casual.
You think I didn't know? You think I didn't see the way he looked at you? The way you looked at him?
James, tell me you didn't.
James steps even closer now, close enough for her to feel the warmth of his breath. His voice drops to a whisper, but the words slice through the air like a blade.
He's not coming back, Laura.
A deafening silence. The clock ticks. The rain outside intensifies, drumming against the window like frantic fingertips. Laura's body goes rigid, her breath shallow.
It was then that I realized. I hadn't confessed to a husband. I had confessed to something much, much worse.
Her pulse pounds in her ears. Her eyes dart toward the door, calculating, considering. But James sees it. He smirks.
Where are you going, sweetheart?
Her throat tightens. Her heart hammers against her ribs. She tries to speak, but no words come out.
You see, Laura, you made your mistake, and I made mine.
He picks up his glass again, swirling the amber liquid, watching her. He takes a slow sip, never breaking eye contact.
Now, the question is, what do we do next?
Laura's breath catches. The fire crackles. The clock ticks. The rain falls harder. Later that night, Laura lies in bed, eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling. James sleeps beside her, his breath slow and steady. The darkness around them feels suffocating. She turns her head slightly, watching him, her mind racing.
I couldn't sleep, not next to him, not after what he said. Was it a lie? A threat? Or the truth?
She carefully pulls the blanket back, inching her way out of bed. The wooden floor creaks beneath her feet. James shifts, and she freezes.
Going somewhere?
Laura's breath catches. She doesn't turn around. Her fingers tremble as she grips the edge of the nightstand.
I need water.
James exhales, a slow chuckle escaping his lips.
Sure you do.
Laura swallows hard and forces her legs to move. She steps into the hallway, glancing back. James remains still, but his eyes are open, watching her. She moves quickly, her heartbeat hammering as she reaches for her phone. But when she turns the screen on, her stomach drops. Her call history is wiped, her messages gone.
I told you, Laura. You're not the only one with secrets.
The end. If you like the story, let us know what you think happened to Laura. Did James also deal with her?